Let's continue with our chapter 5, laws of motion. So today we are going to discuss about friction. As you know, friction is a contact force that opposes relative motion, and it is the force that develops at the surfaces of contact of two bodies and opposes their relative motion. Okay, when no force is applied on an object, there won't be any frictional force. So that is the meaning of the second sentence. No friction exists till an external force is applied. Okay, so the frictional force originates only after the application of an external force. And there are different types of friction. So the first category that we are going to discuss today is that of static friction. So what do you mean by static friction? Force that resists initiation of motion of one body over another with which it is in contact. That is static friction. That means it is the opposing force that comes into play when one body tends to move over the surface of another body, but the actual motion has not yet started. Okay, the object doesn't start to move, but just before that, the frictional force exerted by the object is known as static friction. Okay, and this static friction opposes the impending motion. That means it opposes the motion of the object, and this static frictional force is denoted by Fs, or the static friction is denoted by Fs. Okay, so what is static friction? It is the force that resists initiation of motion of one body over another body. That means it is the opposing force that comes into play when one body tends to move over the surface of another body. Okay, so it is denoted by Fs. If we consider an example for static friction, so consider this is our floor which can exert some frictional force, and this is a box, and this box rests on the floor. Now one or two persons are trying to push this box, so they apply a force on the box, and this is the direction of applied force. But before that, suppose no force is applied on the box now, because the two persons are standing, simply they are not pushing the box now. So in that case, applied force is 0. So if applied force is 0, then our frictional force also will be 0. Okay, or our static friction will be 0. Then they start to apply a force on the box in this direction. So there is an applied force. Let it be 5 Newton. Okay. So when applied force starts to act on the object, frictional force also develops. So a frictional force is developed, and the frictional force is developed in the opposite direction, and that is also 5 Newton, minus 5 Newton. Okay, so applied force and frictional force are equal and opposite in magnitude. So it forms a pair of balanced force. The object does not move. Again, the two persons increased their force. Okay, they applied a force of 10 Newton now. So accordingly, the frictional force also increases. Now the frictional force has increased to 10 Newton itself. Again, the sign will be negative because the frictional force always acts in the opposite direction. You know that. Now, again, two equal and opposite forces are imposed on that object, so the object does not move. So again, they increase their force. Now they increase their force to 50 Newton. Okay, so the frictional force can't increase beyond a limiting value. So the maximum value that can be accommodated by this static friction, or that can be taken by this static friction, is minus 10 or 10 Newton. Okay, so if the applied force increases beyond this 10 Newton, frictional force can't increase beyond its limiting value according to the applied force. So what happens? Now the applied force is greater, it is now 50 Newton, but the frictional force or the static friction is minus 10 itself. So this force, applied force, dominates over the static friction, and as a result the box will move. Okay, once the box starts to move, static friction disappear. Okay, because static friction will be there only when one object tends to move over the another. Once the object starts to move, static friction will disappear and another type of friction will come into play. Okay, so this is the concept of static friction. So initially when the applied force is 0, static friction also will be 0. When the applied force increases, accordingly the static friction also increases. Again, when the applied force increases, static friction increases. But when the persons applied a greater force, static friction can't increase beyond its limiting value. Okay, static friction cannot increase according to the greater applied force. So this is the maximum value of static friction, and this maximum value of static friction is also known as limiting friction. Okay, is also known as limiting friction, and this limiting friction is actually denoted by Fs. Okay, so the maximum value of static friction is called limiting friction, and this limiting friction is actually denoted by F suffix S. Okay. So the limiting value of static friction, that is Fs, depends on the normal reaction, and it is independent of the area of contact. That means how much area is in contact with the object, and also those factors are not affecting this static friction. Static friction or the limiting value of static friction depends only on the normal reaction. I hope you know the normal reaction. What do you mean by normal reaction? If we consider the ground and if we place an object here, the ground will exert a normal force to the object in this direction. This is the normal reaction force, N. Okay, and this maximum value of static friction or this limiting value of static friction, Fs maximum, is directly proportional to this normal reaction, N. Okay, that is the relationship between the static friction and normal reaction. The maximum value of static friction is directly proportional to normal reaction, N. And to remove this proportionality sign, we will add a constant. So our constant is Fs maximum is equal to a constant into N, and this constant is mu s. Okay, so the constant that is added here is mu s, and this mu s is the coefficient of static friction, and this coefficient depends on the nature of surfaces in contact, whether the surface is a rough surface or smooth surface, whether it is a slippery one. Okay, so all those factors are considered by this coefficient of static friction. So from this expression we got a relation, that is Fs maximum. Fs maximum means maximum value of static friction is equal to mu s into N. Then what will be mu s? Mu s is equal to Fs maximum in Fs maximum divided by N, isn't it? So how can you define this mu s or the coefficient of static friction? Coefficient of static friction is defined as the ratio of limiting value of static friction and the normal reaction force. Okay, so what is coefficient of static friction? Coefficient of static friction is defined as the ratio of limiting value of static friction and the normal reaction N. Now, there are certain laws governing the static friction. So what is the first law? The force of maximum static friction is directly proportional to the normal reaction that we already discussed in the previous slide. Then the force of static friction is opposite to the direction of motion. Okay, this concept is also familiar to us. You know that the frictional force will always act opposite to the direction of motion, and it is clearly understood from the previous example. Then the force of static friction is parallel to the surfaces in contact. See, if we consider a surface like this, and if an object is moving through this surface, then this will be the applied force. Applied force will be in this direction. So the frictional force will be acting along opposite direction. So the frictional force is acting parallel to the surfaces in contact. So this is our surface and this is the frictional force. Both are parallel. Now, the force of maximum static friction is independent of the area of contact. That you know. So the maximum static friction is independent. That means does not depend upon the area of the contact. Now, the force of static friction depends only on the nature of surfaces in contact. Okay, so we had already discussed all those things. So whatever we had discussed in our previous slides have been consolidated as laws of static friction in this slide. So if you want, you can take the screenshot of this laws. Okay, so these are the important laws of static friction. Now, another type of friction is kinetic friction. Okay, so static friction is over, then another friction is kinetic friction. So what do you mean by kinetic friction? In the previous example, we saw that when the two persons applied a force of 50 Newton, the box moved to this direction, isn't it? So once the box started to move, or once the box starts to move, which frictional force will act? Yes, kinetic friction will start to act on that object. So what is kinetic friction? It is the force that resists motion of one body over another body with which it is in contact. Okay, so that is the kinetic friction, or we can say it is the opposing force that comes into play when one body is actually moving over the surface of another body. That means when one body starts to move over the surface of another body, actually starts to move over the surface of another body, it forms the force of kinetic friction. Okay. Now it is denoted by Fk, and as motion starts, the static friction vanishes and kinetic friction appears. Now this kinetic friction is independent of the area of contact and velocity of the body. Okay, we may think that when the object starts to move with a greater speed, greater frictional forces develop. It's not like that. So the kinetic friction is independent. That means does not depend upon the area of contact and velocity of the body. And again, it also varies with the normal reaction, just like the that static friction. Kinetic friction is also directly proportional to the normal reaction force. So here, to remove the proportionality symbol, a constant is added, and that constant is mu k. And this mu k is the coefficient of kinetic friction. How do you define this coefficient of kinetic friction? For that, consider this expression. From this expression, we can write mu k is equal to Fk by n, isn't it? So how will you define this coefficient of kinetic friction? So coefficient of kinetic friction is defined as the ratio of kinetic friction, force of kinetic friction, to the normal reaction force. Okay, so what is coefficient of kinetic friction? It is the ratio of force of kinetic friction to the normal reaction. Okay. Now, three scenarios can arise in a body's motion. Scenarios means three cases. When the applied force is greater than Fk. Fk means kinetic friction. Then what will be the force? We know that force F is equal to ma as per Newton's second law. Here what is the total force? So we must consider the frictional force also. Total force is applied force plus frictional force. But frictional force acts in the opposite direction. So the total force can be considered as applied force minus frictional force, because frictional force acts in the opposite direction. So we can write the total force is Fa minus Fk is equal to Ma. Then from this, what is A? A is equal to Fa minus Fk by M. Okay, so when applied force, and this is the case of acceleration when applied force is greater than kinetic friction. Now, when applied force is equal to Fk, that means when Fa is equal to Fk, then acceleration will be 0, right? Because when Fa is equal to Fk, then Fa minus Fk will be 0. So, as per this equation, acceleration also will be 0. If acceleration is 0, the body moves with uniform velocity. There won't be any change in velocity of the body. Okay. Now suppose the applied force is 0. So when applied force Fa is equal to 0, then acceleration A will be equal to minus Fk by M. So that means no motion occurs, the body stops. Okay. So when the applied force is 0, no motion occurs and the body stops, because the body moves as a result of the applied force. So when the applied force itself is 0, there won't be any motion. So we get a negative acceleration. That means the acceleration decreases and finally the body stops. Okay. So these are the three scenarios that can arise in a body's motion. Then what are the laws of kinetic friction? So just like the laws of static friction, we can state the laws of kinetic friction also. The force of kinetic friction is directly proportional to the normal reaction. The force of kinetic friction is opposite to the direction of motion, because the frictional force always opposes the motion. The force of kinetic friction is parallel to the surfaces in contact, just like static friction. And the force of maximum kinetic friction is independent of the area of contact and speed. That means kinetic friction does not depend upon area of contact and speed of the object. Next, the force of kinetic friction depends only on the nature of surfaces in contact. Okay, it depends only on the nature, it does not depend upon area and speed. And the force of kinetic friction is less than the force of static friction. Why is it so? Why does the force of kinetic friction is less than the force of static friction? Because kinetic friction arises when the object starts to move, but static friction is the frictional force which is developed when the object is not in motion. So it is very, very difficult to keep an object from moving even after a force is applied. So static friction is doing that job. Hence, the force of kinetic friction is less than the force of static friction. Okay. Again, in the kinetic friction, we have two types of friction. That is sliding friction and rolling friction. Because an object can slide over the body or surface of another object, and similarly, an object can roll over the surface of another object, just like a ball rolling on the ground. Okay, so two types of frictional force or kinetic friction is there, that is sliding friction and rolling friction. So sliding friction is the opposing force that comes into play when one body is actually sliding over the surface of other body. Okay, when one body slides over another body. Consider this example. Here, this is ground and this is a box. When a force is applied in this direction, the box moves. So the box actually slides over the floor. Okay, so here what type of friction is there? That is sliding friction. Then consider ground and consider a ball is rolling over the surface of this floor. So what type of frictional force is there? That is rolling friction. So rolling friction is the opposing force that comes into play when one body is actually rolling over the surface of other body. Okay. So that's all about the laws of static and kinetic friction. Now we can just go through the relation between coefficient of static and kinetic friction. We know that the kinetic friction Fk is equal to mu k into N, and also the static friction is less than or equal to, that is, mu s into N. Okay. So to keep an object or to keep the body moving, the static friction is greater than kinetic friction. We had already discussed that the magnitude of static friction will be greater than the kinetic friction. So we can write Fs is mu s N. So mu s N is greater than mu k into N. Or we can write mu k is less than mu s. Isn't it? N will cancel. So we get the relation mu s greater than mu k. And this relation can also be rewritten as mu k is less than mu s. That means the coefficient of kinetic friction is smaller than the coefficient of static friction. So this is the relationship between the coefficient of static and kinetic friction. Okay. So that's all about the static and kinetic friction. Now I told you, along with the kinetic friction we have to study rolling friction. Rolling friction is applicable for bodies whose point of contact keeps changing. So it is the force that opposes the motion of a body which is rolling over the surface of another. Example, bowling balls, rotating wheels are examples illustrating rolling friction. And coefficient of rolling friction is lesser than that of kinetic friction. Why? Because you know kinetic friction depends upon the nature of surfaces in contact, and also in the case of rolling friction the only one point of the object is in contact with the surface. Okay, so the frictional force will be less comparatively, and the coefficient of rolling friction is lesser than that of kinetic friction. Okay, so we can write this relation. Coefficient, that means rolling friction is less than kinetic friction. Again, kinetic friction is less than static friction. So static friction has the maximum magnitude.